Bird of Prey 5. El Karuga.
Qapla!
Qapla.
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Esri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird of Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird of Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to the members only stream for October 2023. Here on October 10th, the second Tuesday of the month, as is customary. And thank you all for showing up. This was as is always, the second Tuesday of the month at 4 p.m. Eastern is the standard time for the channel membership streams, but I only set it up a couple hours ago, 3 hours ago, and just after I finished setting up, I got notice from our overlord Doomcock that he was indeed setting up at 4 p.m. Eastern his special live stream for his 6th anniversary of his channel. His actual channel started 6 years ago today. So if you're here instead of at Doomcock, welcome. If you were at Doomcock and watched this later, welcome. I certainly don't mind being your second choice. I know I'd probably be over there too had I thought about it, had I known. But no worries. JP's is demanding Central Standard Time. I don't convert to Central, JP's. We use Eastern. And Mr. CCDV is saying Mountain Time. That's even less used than Central Time. I mean, the importance of time zones in this country, and I'm sorry, but it's Eastern, okay? Then probably Pacific, then Central, then Mountain, then Hawaiian, and then Alaskan. And that's just the way it is. That's just science. Um, Yvette is screaming for Greenwich Mean Time. Todd Jenny says, I prefer the Big Bird of Queens over Doom Chicken. Wow, that's your call. JP's is again, now JP's is for Greenwich Mean Time as well, GMT. Todd Jenny says, Torona time, Toronto, New York. And Mr. CCTV says, at least Mountain beats Hawaii. Well, these are undeniable truths of of time. So I just finished. We had a busy day here at the Opry house. Had podiatrist come earlier today. The podiatrist takes care of both me and Mom Opry. And then I had a online therapist appointment to take care of my mental issues. So basically, I rant to him for an hour about everything that's bugging me, and he tells me that I'm crazy, and he can rant about it again in another couple weeks. And then we set a date, and I rant in another 2 weeks. And I probably should record that and just put that up as members only special. But no, that would be against the law, probably. Certainly against the spirit of the doctor-patient privilege, or not technically a doctor, but they aren't supposed to. There is some type of privilege, apparently. He's not supposed to talk about what I talk about, unless it's a crime, in which case then he can. So then what the hell's the point? Todd Jenny says, Toronto, we raised Khan well. And JP says, move Toronto. Todd Jenny says, space engineers, best therapy, crash some ships. Dan Ben says, at the UK, it's 9:16 p.m. Yeah, it's not doctor-patient privilege because they're not a doctor. Sci-Fi Mommy says, it's World Mental Health Day. Well, I could use a few of those. Could use a few more. 47 Yorktown says Atlantic time is best. Oh my God, Atlantic time. That's even earlier than Eastern. So I did put up, and I will pin it, a link. If anyone would like to join the panel, you are welcome to. Of course, it's the member stream. This is the time when you bring up to me any issues you might have. I'll let you know what's going on the channel. So something new you might notice, or you might not, is that live streams are no longer being unlisted. Recently, I decided that I'm tired of unlisting my live streams. For a long time, I was hoping that I would be getting back to doing, videos, reviews, or whatever type of videos that would be 5 to 10 minutes long, maybe 20 minutes long, and putting out 2 or 3 a week. And if I had been able to do that, I am certain I would have been able to grow the channel relatively quickly. Um, but the reality is, it's been years now, and I am no closer. In fact, I am further away than I've ever been at being able to do regular edited videos, which is crazy because the easier it gets to do, it seems like the harder it is I make it on myself to do them. The time I was putting up the most consistent number of videos was the brief time my computer had broken and I was running off a broken an older laptop. And yet for some reason, I was able to more consistently make videos because I think because I couldn't do any multitasking. If I had to work on one thing and one thing only, I was working on the videos without distraction. And unfortunately, uh, the more multitasking I do, the less videos I do. And so the point is, I've decided to go to uh, embrace that I am now a live streaming channel. And rather than unlisting my live streams, um, I am keeping them all up. And the reality is, I suspect I will lose some subscribers uh, at first, but then eventually, once the algorithm adjusts correctly and realizes I am now a live streaming channel, um, I suspect subscribers will slowly begin to rise again. And we'll see. We'll see how long it takes. Uh, uh, we are just below 2,700 subs, 2699. Um, at last I looked. Let's put it this way: if we get below 2,000, then I will know I made a mistake. Uh, but if we uh, if we end up start changing and we start getting more subscribers again, then I think I was on to something. So it's been, like I said, it's been months though since I put out a regular uh, a regular uploaded video. So this might have been the time to make the change. Um, Dan Benz's comments on the screen. Now he won't be able to read them. Well, the comments I put on the screen, I already read. I will say hello to everybody who's here, though. That's the least I can do. Pat S, welcome, Pat S, Captain Phantom Nerd, Yitzy Lemons, John DeMarco, Richie Poole, 47 Yorktown, Suzanne Eckstein, JP's Tabernac, Yvette, Sci-Fi Mombi, Mr. CCDV, LDG, hashtag free the net, Dan Ben, I think I already said Mr. CCDV, Todd Jenny, and Stanley. Welcome, Stanley. Um, JP says, "Yay! I'm not the only one seeing some sort of mental health person. Absolutely not, JP's. I've been seeing multiple mental health people for some time. JP says, Yorktown, I'll give that to you because you is a fisherman. Oh, Atlantic time. Yes, Atlantic time is probably best for fishermen. Stanley says, desperation is the mother of invention. And I'd like to complete tasks in the correct frame of mind. Stanley says, last minute panic. JP says, or not at all. That's true. Yvette says, Bird, we will always support whatever you want to do. Whatever I want to do? Stanley says, it'll be like the Howard Stern show. You already have a whack pack. Just need some interns. Todd Jennings says, AKA T-Berg Sci-Fi Tech. 47 Yorktown says, thank you, JPs. It makes getting up at 2:30 a.m. so much better. And Todd Jennings says, I'm looking for a mental health person. Unpacking old crap is fun. I had a nervous breakdown in 2019 for 2 months. I consider myself pre-cracked concrete now. Keely Chow says, hey, everybody, what's going on? Hey, Keely, just talking about my mental, no, I don't know what we're talking about, my state of mental health and the fact that it's okay to talk with people. It's okay to have people, to talk to a counselor, even if you're not somebody who agrees with having a counselor on the ship. But they're there anyway. You might as well make use of them. Todd Jennings says, if you're struggling always to find someone to listen, we are out there. Mr. CCTV says, I haven't posted or live streamed since I broke my leg, going on 3 months now. Oh my God. How is your leg doing, Mr. CCTV? Stanley says, she did a better job before switching to the official uniform. I don't think so. I thought she was best after she switched to the official uniform. And I think Marina Sirtis would agree. And Stanley says, isn't a bone usually take like a month to heal? Stanley says, that's a bad break. Well, it depends on how badly it breaks. Mr. CCTV says, possibly only one more surgery to go, maybe 2. Never drop a truck on your leg. Jesus Christ. JP says, you mean the short uniform. Stanley says, she called Deanna the space cheerleader. Todd Jennings says, purple voyeurism beats the galactic cheerleader look. And Killy Chow says, I love a woman in standard blue Starfleet uniform. Well, standard blue TOS uniform for sure. Standard blue TNG uniform, not so much. Todd Jennings says, the official uniform made Troy a piece of cake. JP says, a truck on the leg is better than a truck on the chest or the head. or the balls. Jesus. A truck into the groin, that would be worse. The Random Menace says, greetings from the future. Hope all is good in New York City. Well, I don't know about all being good in New York City, but we're still here, Random Menace. Hope all is well with you. Mr. CCTV says, all very true. Gilly Chow says, Crusher is one of my favorite TV MILFs. Mr. CCTV is laughing. And the Random Menace says he has a purple badge. Oh, the purple number 5. Yes. Well, it figured purple was a royal color. You know, in the Roman Empire, purple was a very difficult dye color to make. It was very expensive, so purple was reserved for the very well-to-do. So I figured the purple 5 was now the ultimate number 5 for channel membership. So only the longest subscribers have the purple 5 now. Todd Jenny says, here I thought the truck nuts on the ball hitch were fake. JP says a truck to the groin may cause a busted nut in more ways than one. Yvette says, hey, Yosef, my love to your 2 ladies, and of course you. Words and Pictures says, hey, Evening Bird, hey, Words and Pictures. Dan Ben puts up a purple square. Yvette says, hey, to Words. The Random Man says, thank you, Yvette. Just posted a story on Facebook with cats and Olivia. And Words and Pictures says, good evening, fellow Englisher. I assume that's a hello to a lovely Yvette. So I do have physical therapy. At probably 5:30 or so. So we'll probably have to end this stream about 5:15. So just a heads up, if you want to come up on the panel or you want to bring something up, now is the time. We'll never quite sure what might happen between now and later. So, you know, the Random Menace is, what are you doing in the therapy sessions? Mr. CCTV says, oh, I can't wait to start my physical therapy. And Random Menace wants to know what he's doing in therapy. And Dan Benton says, Star Trek YouTube channel posted making of a very short tracks video. Interesting. I have not seen that. Random Menace, I assume you're asking Mr. CCTV what he's doing. We're getting some type of delivery. A delivery line. Yeah, they left. Apparently an Amazon delivery, perhaps. Wearing an Amazon uniform. Dan Van Trek, it's supposed to say. 47 Yorktown says it's too early for a hashtag more cats for Olivia. And he bets his bird, ask others about Monopoly. see how many others have the same phenomenon we had. And welcome, Mr. CCDB.
Hello, bird of prey, Qapla.
Wow, man, how are you doing?
Recovering. I figured you guys might like to hear the story.
Oh, sure. Just give me 1 second. I just want to answer Random Menace. Random Menace asks, are you planning on finishing the Strange New World reviews? We are stuck at the early part of the 2nd season. To be honest, Random Menace, yes, at some point, but probably not anytime soon. That's just the reality of it. And Captain Phantom Nerd says more toys for Olivia. Absolutely. Okay, so yes, please. Story us up.
All right, so back in May, May, I think, I got brand new tires put on my truck, and I tried to have my truck aligned, the alignment done. They
If you don't know Mr. CCDV, you're muted.
There you go.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I didn't hit the mute button. Yeah, back in April or May, I had new tires put on my truck and tried to get an alignment done. Turns out that every piece of steering and suspension in the front end was ruined from 20 years of abuse, I guess. So I took it to a shop and had an estimate done, and they told me it would cost me about $12,000 to get it all fixed. Mostly in labor. The parts were only like $3,000. So I thought to myself, I said, I have all the tools. I have all the equipment. I can do it myself. And I did. I did most of it myself. I got down to the lower control arm on the driver's side and started prying that off of the truck. And the truck fell off the jack stands and fell on my leg. So that was fun.
That sounds horrible. I mean,
it was the funny part is that my roommate, I was yelling, help, help, help. My roommate came out, got the jacked the truck up a little bit, and then he didn't place the jack right, and so the truck fell again. So technically the truck fell on my leg twice.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that
the surgeons
cool.
The surgeons were worried when they first saw it, because when he finally got the truck jacked up just enough, I pulled my leg out from underneath it and it ripped open my heel. So the surgeon was not sure they could save my leg, but they're more confident now. The first surgery just realigned all the toes in my foot with a bunch of pins. The second surgery put my ankle back together, my ankle and my tibia back together. The third surgery may or may not be a skin graft. The fourth surgery will be putting my toe bones back together.
That is, oh my God.
We can rebuild him. I wish they could make me stronger. Yeah, so I was in the hospital for a few days, and then I got home.
You're muted again.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
Well, Mr. CCDV seems to have some muting issues.
What's going on here? I think someone's messing with me. That's what it is.
It's not me. I don't see anyone else who could be doing it.
Yeah. Okay. So I got home from the hospital and got my knee pads out and crawled around on my hands and legs to get the truck jacked back up off the ground, put railroad ties underneath it so it wouldn't fall again, finished putting the front end back together. And then the following week, after I got the truck on the road, the following week, the oil pump went out. So I had to take it all apart again, crawling around on my hands and knees.
I understand you can't be driving.
Oh, yeah.
Are
I
you?
broke my left leg, not my right. I drive an automatic.
You're driving? Oh, my God.
Yeah, last week, one of the power steering hoses went bad, and I went, I'm not going in there again. I just took it to a shop and paid for it to be done. I'm so tired of working on that truck right now. But it's on the road, and it's quieter than it's been in 10 years. So I'm happy about it.
Boggles the mind. But congratulations, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'll get another 250,000 miles out of it. Or else.
So Yvette was bringing up about Monopoly. So the deal is, and I know a lot of people have heard of the Mandela effect, but regardless of what you call it, does anyone else play Monopoly or remember playing Monopoly as a kid? And did you know that according to the rules of Monopoly, and these are the original rules of the game, they did not change, that if you land on a property and not buy it, you choose not to buy it for whatever reason, that property is then supposed to go up for auction, and whoever wants to buy it at, starting at $1 or whatever, whoever wants to buy it can bid on it, including you. So if you landed on St. Charles and I don't know, whatever it's supposed to be, $150 or something, you're like, I don't want to buy it. So the banker would instead put it up for auction, and they say opens the auction for $1, and you bid, $2. Fine, you win it, and now you can get St. Charles for $2 instead of $150. Or more realistically, somebody else will buy it maybe at $80. Or maybe somebody will buy it and goes to an auction, and they buy it for more than the price that it's due, because somebody needs it to complete a monopoly, and somebody else doesn't want them to complete the monopoly, so they outbid them. Whatever. I had no idea property auctions were part of the game. For me, I always thought that if you didn't buy the property, it stays there and somebody else has to land on it for them to buy it. And it's what makes the game absurdly long.
I've never played it that. I've always played it with the way that you could just choose not to buy it and it would stay open for purchase.
Okay, yeah, I had no idea that these auctions were in fact the rule of the game. Yvette had no idea, and we both remember reading the rules front and back, because the whole point was we loved Monopoly and we wanted to know all the rules front and back. So I certainly read them. I mean, it's not that the rules are all that long. And neither of us had ever heard of this. And for her, until she got an electronic game, and she went back and looked at the rules from her old 1960s paper games, and somehow they were now part of the rule. It had always been there, but she missed it, or she was in a different universe.
Well, I suspect we all missed it for the most part, since most of us
And
don't remember playing it that way.
Mama Prey played Monopoly before I was ever born, and she doesn't remember the auctions either. So
I've been playing Monopoly since I could read. My mom always told me the rules for the game, so I never actually read them.
Well, I did read them, and I'm telling you, they weren't there. Dan Ben says the American and UK versions have different place names. Well, that's not important. Todd Jenny says they should add a new chance card. Dan Ben says in the early history of the board game Monopoly, there were no fixed prices. Each property was purchased through an auction. Todd Jenny says get caught for fraud, lose all business licenses, sell all properties, and go straight to jail. That should be the new chance card.
That would be the worst chance card ever.
Dan Van says, I used to think if you land on Monopoly Square, if you don't want to buy it, you can move on. Yeah. And Tanya says, it sounds like a Sinbad movie with Sinbad from a different world. Words and pictures is Monopoly rule, which prove we're living in the Matrix. And Dan Ben is not Sinbad again, whoever that is. Today's chance cards would also be, you get Me Too'd. Get Me Too'd. Go directly to jail.
I didn't think Me Too'd included going to jail.
Cancel. Yeah, lose all your property. You don't get rent. All your rent is taken away. Give 50% of your income to the bank, or give 50% of your income to a charity.
It sounds a lot more like a divorce than a Me Too'd. It was 6 years before I started making money after my divorce.
The Random Menace says we bought Monopoly during COVID. Played it once. I lost everything to my wife. Art imitates life. So your wife is a better capitalist than you. Good to know, Random Menace. Good to know.
Well, it's apple picking season here in Arizona.
Apple picking?
Yep. They're ripening up in October. So I made apple butter on Sunday. Never made apple butter before. That was fun. A friend of mine's got a couple of trees in his backyard. He wants to come over on Thursday and make basically everything apple. So I got a long day Thursday. I'm going to start making the laminated dough for the pastries tomorrow. That'll be fun. I might actually film some of it.
Jenny asks if anyone plays the game of life. Not in a long time.
Not since my kids growed up a little bit.
Dan Ben says community chess. That is the other set of cards in Monopoly. The Random Man says, I keep saying, if I was responsible for finance management, we would live under a bridge surrounded by Legos. Yvette loved the game of life. Yeah, Dan Ben, community chess cards, yes. Todd Jenny says apple, nutmeg, spice cider.
That is correct.
and Words and Pictures is the game of life. Fabulous game. Let's
Yeah, if
see.
it didn't take 4 to 6 weeks to ferment the apples, I'd make my own cider. But I'm lazy. I'll just buy it from the store that way.
Dan Ben, there's too many versions of Monopoly. Yeah. Oh, believe me, I know. I made the misfortune of trying to collect all the different Monopoly games, and they just went crazy, stupid. They made they licensed the Monopoly brand to a company called USA-opoly Inc. And USA-opoly Inc. Would basically, anybody could approach them with an idea, and if you could prove you could get like 2,000 signatures, they would make the game with very few rules. So any city, any state, you could do if you had a big enough community, you could get a Monopoly set done. A company, you could get a Monopoly set done. But
an itchy and scratchy Monopoly.
I tried to get a Monopoly set done for my boss, for Mr. Frank, because, what do you get for the billionaire who has everything? Well, you try to get him his own Monopoly set, where his own life accomplishments were the things, but the fuckers turned me down because he was a liquor importer, and the brands I wanted were liquor brands, and they didn't think that would go well with their fact that they were a family-friendly childhood game. So fuckers didn't want to see Jägermeister and Grey Goose vodka on their boards, and they said no. There's a Star Trek Monopoly and also a Klingon Monopoly. Yeah, there's an everything Monopoly except beer and spirits, apparently.
I wonder if they'll come out with a marijuana Monopoly now.
I'm sure they probably will. Yvette says, I have a Supernatural Doctor Who and Blackpool version. And Dan Ben has played the Monopoly PC game. But yeah, that was it. I tried to get a Monopoly board, and I also, I'd always hoped I would get a slot machine, but to be honest, the slot machine just turned out to be way too expensive, even for me, who was being paid the big bucks at the time. Yvette said, did anyone play Atmosphere? It had a VHS tape and a board. I had all of them and kept them for nostalgia. Never heard of it.
I don't even think I've seen a VHS tape in 10 years.
JP says we were never allowed to play Monopoly because it always ended in full-on fist fights.
I didn't believe you, so I had to go unwrap.
Mom afraid didn't believe me, so she had to go unwrap the old.
What version is this?
The Franklin Mint edition.
Franklin Mint edition.
The Franklin Mint edition of Monopoly.
Yeah.
And there's the rules.
Yeah.
It is indeed in there.
Actually, it's not in bad shape. It was all wrapped up in bubble wrap and plastic.
Oh, so the Franklin Mint edition
Yeah.
didn't get ruined by flood?
No,
Oh,
it's been
right.
up on a shelf.
I mean, it did get ruined by years of neglect
And
and scratch and uses. But it's good. Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately not worth $1 more than we pay.
We paid $500 for it.
And it's not worth any more than that now.
Is it worth 500?
If it was in great condition, maybe. I was probably could not get the 500 we paid for it back in the day. And back in the day, that 500 would be worth like 2,500 now. So somehow we've lost money.
I've never kept a board game long enough to make it worth money.
The Random Menace got rid of his last VHS about 20 years ago. Well, these were supposed to be a collector's edition of Monopoly, but once they advertise something as a collector's edition, it's
no
never
longer a collector's edition.
Collector's, right. But I tell you, it did have a beautiful wooden box with the green felt, and the hotels are gold plated and the houses are silver plated and pewter playing pieces, and really just high class everything. Really thick cardstock for the properties and the community chest and the chance cards. And there's a draw that fits the bank. The money goes in just really beautiful set. But and like when it was like $500 when we bought it. Franklin Mint Monopoly. I'm going to show it on screen. Yeah. This kind of cherry wood, this straw pulls out, and there's all the money and the cards. Everything fits in here. And do they not show the...
That's like a real dedicated game board right there.
Yeah, it's fancy, but I'm surprised they don't show the houses and the hotels. Luxury edition. Okay, this is not the Franklin Mint edition.
Oh, it's a lot like it though. It's just a tabletop version instead of coming with its own pedestal.
And Joseph just sent a picture of his cat watching the stream. Very cool, Joseph. Very cool.
Well, my ankle is throbbing, so I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
Head out.
Thanks for coming up.
Need
Feel
to go
better.
grocery shopping anyway, so I will talk to y'all later. Have a good one.
You too. So there you guys see, there's the gold hotels, gold plated and silver plated houses. And oh, maybe it's not pewter. Maybe it's bronze plain pieces. Mm. Anyway. Dan Ben says JP's. I think that's a Simpsons episode. JP says we did it before the Simpsons. LDG puts in a link to official Cheaters edition of Monopoly. Todd Jenny says, remember Royal Delusion, Penda Fondant, China dolls? They were worth hundreds until all the old lady collectors died. The families can't give them away. I've not heard of that. And Todd J says, Franklin Mint, the perfect scam. Lol. JP says, PCH, Publishers Clearinghouse, is the perfect scam. Dan Ben says, my non's neighbor had a really old Monopoly. It came in the brown leather case with all this stuff in it. Words and Pictures says, Terry Pratchett board game, Thud is a good strategy game, has a resemblance to Vikings tactical board game, a very old Dark Ages game. JP's has probably played with real money. Random Menace says, feel free to share the pic. Okay, thank you. Dan Ben says, Vertebrae 5, what was your favorite Monopoly piece to use? I like the dog. I like the car. If not the car, then the train. Then okay. I think Franklin Mint had a train piece. But I would say if not the car, then the ship. But the car, the ship, or if some of them had a plane, a plane. Dan Ben, you get Monopoly, it comes with a credit card instead of money. Yeah, they switched over to that at some point. Yvette was always the iron. No, I hated the iron and I hated the thimble. I did not want to be the iron or the thimble. Going to share the picture of Joseph's cat. Joseph's cat watching the stream. From a few minutes ago. Hashtag more cats for Joseph. JP says those must. JP says, wait, there was a train and a ship or a plane. There was a ship, I'm pretty sure. I think the one I had a train. It might have been a special edition. Like I almost always played on some special edition Monopoly. Those must have been fancy. Yeah, they were. Always the shoe, says Todd Jennings. I didn't like the shoe either. Yvette says, Dan, I have to disagree. It always worked for me. Dan Van says, the Monopoly I had, there was a thimble, a dog, iron, a boat, a top hat, a wheelbarrow. The top hat. I like the top hat. The boat, the dog, those were okay. The wheelbarrow, once in a while. No worries. Let's see, what were the original Monopoly pieces? What were the original Monopoly pieces? Oh, there was the plane. The original being see, I'm going to show it to you guys. Miranda Bennis with a £2 super chat says there are more than enough cats at Yosef's. If you say so, Yosef. If you say so. So the originals being a cannon, a thimble, a top hat, iron, battleship, and a boot. Later in 1935, race car purse was added to the 7 token cents. In the middle of 1935, the purse was added to 8 token sets. What? I don't know. Thimble, this plane. I don't know. The top hat, the car, the dog, whatever the hell. This was the cannon. The dog, the wheelbarrow, the iron, and the battleship. Tokens were playing pieces. That's what they were called. Early pieces. Wartime. The wartime. There it was when the metal was needed for the war effort. So wooden pawns were used for Monopoly pieces during the war. See, somebody was asking this morning, were there ever wood pieces in Monopoly? And somebody said no. But yes, there were wood pieces in Monopoly when they couldn't use metal during the war. Holy shit. A few games had composite playing pieces made of compressed paper and sawdust. Those pieces were fragile, and since many were not produced, they became collector's items. In the United States, United Kingdoms, some sets used wooden pawns from the game's 64 milestones as tokens, but the majority were cardboard cutouts slotted into wooden black bases. Immediate post-war pieces, the die-cast toys after the war. Parker Brothers produced its own pewter playing pieces based on Doubt's originals. So here we go. Special playing pieces, standard edition, the hat, the thimble, the iron, the cat. Oh my God, the cat for Yosef, and the wheelbarrow. The 80th anniversary edition. There's the dog, the 85th. Holy shit, the space shuttle. American National Parks, Australia. Cheaters edition. Cheaters edition. A cat burglar, a getaway car, a business penguin, a dog burying his taxes, a top hat with money, and a T-Rex with a robot arm. Yes, that's what LDG was trying to show us. JP says the one we had a dog and a cat, and the iron, we lost the rest. And thank you again, the Random Menace. Dan Ben had Junior Monopoly in the 90s. It came with colored cars, and he remembers the boot now. JP says, so sometimes we use Lego Spacemen or one of the FBSG little characters. And JP says, my grandmother's Monopoly had wooden houses and hotels. Yes, houses, wooden houses and hotels, quite a few had. It was the pieces, wooden pieces are very rare. Travel Monopoly, yes, that was another popular edition of Monopoly. Anyway, I'm going to get ready for my physical therapy. So we'll give this one more chance. Anything anybody wants to bring up before we call it a stream? Now is your chance. If not, I will call it a stream here. You are very welcome, Yvette. We give it another minute. Anybody? Oh, a big thank you to everybody who became a member or continued being a member. A very big thank you to everybody who bought memberships for other people this month. LDG, John Araki. I know there were others. Thank you guys for doing that. It's a nice way of helping the community, and of course helping me. And you know, I appreciate it. I really do. 75 members, 76 members, technically, for a channel this size is ridiculous, but it is appreciated. Thank you. Todd Jenny yells Jaloja. Now it's a stream. Captain Phantom Nerd says, thank you, Bert. Thank you, Captain. Dan Ben says, there's one Monopoly, the longest game ever. The Random Menace is Qapla, and thanks for the stream. And Dan Ben with a thumbs up. Thank you, Dan Ben, and thank you for the Monopoly facts along the way. Cheers all. Take care. LDG says bird. Okay, guys, check out the underground at freethenet.org/underground. Hang out with LDG. And oh, yes, okay. Yeah. Guys, our friend Mr. Londell of Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies, he needs a little help. He needs a little help this month. He is between jobs, and he is a very proud person. He doesn't make this request lightly. I am sure it is not easy for him to ask for help, and I'm happy that he is. I'm not happy he's in the position he is, but I'm happy he did ask for help rather than, you know, God knows what. So please, if you can, that is the link to his GoFundMe. I donated. I know a number of people have donated already. I spoke with Mr. Londell. It is a legit GoFundMe. I have no worries that it's not legit. So please if you're in any position to donate a little bit, $1, $5, whatever you can, please do. Please pass along the link. If you can, please reshare it on your social media. It would be really helpful. I'd be personally very thankful if we can help Mr. Lundell. Um, continue to be groovy. He does so much for the community. His pushing old time movies, keeping them relevant, replaying them, finding new audiences for groovy old movies. It's not easy and it doesn't pay well. So please help support him if you can. That would be greatly appreciated. LDG also put in a link. Both links will work. Either link will work to Mr. Lundell. So thank you, LDG, for reminding me about that. With that all, take care. Bird out.